This is Anthony Mattar. I'm a ordained Assemblies of God minister in Seattle.
This is Dr. Reverend Brandon Beals, and we're here to say Merry Christmas.
Welcome to Pastors Unfiltered.
P.S. Don't forget, I love presents.
Everywhere you go. Take a look.
Hey everyone, welcome to Pastors Unfiltered. I'm your host, Pastor Tony Mattar, joined by my lovely Christmas-y host, the Reverend Dr. Brandon Lee Beals. How are you today?
This is Christmassy. I'm
Yeah.
wearing a Just Win Baby
Just
sweatshirt.
Everything about you feels Christmassy. You are a Christmas guy. Do you know that?
I am.
You really are.
Anything that has to do with presents, I love giving presents. I like getting presents, so I'm all for presents.
Yes.
I do want to highlight a present that I was given. This is a new sponsor for Pastors Unfiltered. It is Raintown Studio. They gave me a really cool hat of a Sasquatch carrying a video camera.
Come on.
This is probably my new go-to hat.
I like it.
Thank you guys, Raintown Studio.
Are you
Thumbs
moving
up.
on from Cowboy Cool? You're on a Cowboy Cool kick for a while.
They stopped giving me free gear, so
That's not cool.
I know.
That's Cowboy lame.
I'll probably reach out to them at some point. Tony, why don't you thank our other sponsors?
Yes.
And then I have a way I want us to start this episode.
Anderson Lawn Care, folks. I just hired Micah Anderson because, there's not a lot of outside work that needs to be done right now. He just remodeled our Mother's Lounge at the Seattle campus. He was working for us till 4 a.m. He says, I'm going to work till I get the job done. Mike Anderson Lawn Care, hit him up for all your needs. Great guy. You'll see him at the church. If you attend the Mill Creek campus Sunday mornings, he's in the parking lot. Catch him. Mike is the man. Logos Bible Software, thanks so much for your sponsorship. Check them out for all your Bible studying needs. Use promo code WeAreVenture. And then other sponsor is my parents. Thank you for bringing me into this world. Judah chuckled. And you know what? Happy freaking birthday, Judah Beals.
We are recording
Come
on
on.
my oldest son's birthday.
Would
The middle child.
Yeah, what'd you ask for Christmas or for your birthday? Raiders roll. You want a Raiders roll for your birthday?
Okay, I can afford that.
All right.
Raiders roll.
Technically, you know what I did for Judah's birthday?
No.
I painted the inside of his condo, had it painted for him. That was his birthday present.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm a
White.
good dad.
Yeah, okay.
Tony, we have stats on listeners for our podcast.
Everyone posted their Spotify Unwrapped. You didn't post yours.
Did you know I went to Spotify and it said I didn't get one because I don't listen to Spotify enough because I primarily listen on iTunes.
You're an Apple guy,
The
Apple Music.
only thing I listen to on Spotify is Joe Rogan's podcast because you can only listen to it on Spotify.
Okay, give me no. I've not heard these yet. So what are our numbers for this year?
So our average weekly listener number,
Okay.
extrapolated
From
over the year,
10 listeners.
we have 253 new listeners
Guys.
weekly.
Guys.
So we're the faithful 253.
253.
I know.
The faithful 253. Come on, Greenie. Are you happy? Sure. I'm happy.
Just out of curiosity, guess what was our most listened to episode ever?
Hands down, the Hillsong one. Mark Driscoll.
Mark Driscoll
Yes. Yep.
and John Lindell.
John
was our
Lindell.
most listened to one.
Number 2, the one where we called your mom.
No,
No, that one didn't.
I'll have to do more research on that. I know what
Okay.
number one is, but maybe next week we start our prediction episodes,
With the gals.
and then we have the guys the
Got
following
the
week.
guys.
So when we record the guys, because we're recording the guys next week, we'll give you more stats and things because the girls have already been pre-recorded. But Tony, I want to start off by doing something different. Can we
Okay.
do it?
Yeah, because we got a lot we need to go through today.
Today in staff meeting,
Mhm.
we had a devotional shared by Pastor Kelsey Fairfield. Kelsey, for those of you that don't know, she's probably our newest pastoral staff member.
Yeah.
We soon have another new pastoral staff member who starts in January. But Kelsey is very sweet,
Mhm.
very kind and loving, and loves Jesus, and just a great addition to our team. She shared a devotional on peace.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
And at the end of the devotional, she had us all do an exercise where we closed our eyes,
Hmm.
we calmed ourselves, we imagined ourselves sitting in a chair.
Yeah.
So I want to walk through this with you.
Yeah. So everyone listening, if you're not driving, close your eyes. Keep going.
Imagine yourself sitting in a chair,
Okay.
be peaceful, then look across and you see Jesus.
That was profound.
And then we paused in that moment for a while. So be doing that, listeners. But now I want to ask Tony some specific questions about this because I was really curious. First off, what chair were you sitting in? When she said sit in a chair, I like paused and I thought, what chair do I want to sit in? As soon as I started thinking of sitting in my office chair, my stress, the opposite of peace happened.
I was sitting in an auditorium chair, but in my vision, I was uncomfortable. So I kept adjusting the entire time.
Is that literally what you were doing?
That's what I did.
Isn't that funny?
I kept moving around in my chair. Yeah.
So I was sitting in my man cave downstairs in my house, sitting in one of my leather recliners. That was my image. But then she said, picture Jesus in front of you. That's the one I wanted to ask you. What did Jesus look like, Tony?
I'll be honest. Jesus was sitting. The picture I saw is he was sitting and like his legs, Greenie, you're going to have to look at this. His legs were crossed like this. And he was just like this. And he was just listening to what I had to say.
Well, I want to know, what did he look like? Did blonde hair, blue-eyed Jesus?
No. He was Arab for sure. He long hair, dark skin, beard, nice beard. Jesus had a probably 3-inch around. Yeah, it was beautiful. And wearing all white. Except I really couldn't see his face. I just saw the white.
Yeah, it was kind of a blur.
Yes.
But through my blur, he looked like Jesus from The Chosen.
Oh, that dude. That guy's great. That guy's great. Jonathan, what's his name? I don't know. Great guy.
Because I've never really watched an episode of The Chosen, I thought that was Peter.
Oh.
Because it's what I imagined Peter looking like. And
Yeah.
then I found out, no, that guy plays Jesus.
Yeah, no, it was good. It was actually profound. I felt very peaceful.
Yeah, it was.
And then in my vision, I felt like my kids were waiting for me. Like
One of
they
my
needed
other
something.
favorite things about Kelsey
Yeah.
is that during staff meetings, she rocks back and forth.
You've noticed that?
So
She's a rocker. I know.
Well, here's what Cole and I
Yes.
do. Whenever I sit by Cole like is a horrible influence on me in staff meeting. Kelsey will start rocking back and forth, and Cole and I will start whispering songs that we think she's rocking to. The last one I did as she was rocking back and forth, I go, Thunderstruck by AC/DC.
Thunder. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I don't sit next to Cole, my beloved Cole Hasty, in staff meeting because I won't focus. I won't be there. I'm going to be too focused on Cole.
Okay, before we dive into the topic at hand, how's Seattle going? Give us an update.
Seattle's going great. Seattle's awesome. We have our kids' Christmas production coming up. Can't wait for that. My daughter is Mary. She has a singing solo. And Jesus is baby Malachi. We have Black Jesus. It's gonna be awesome. I'll tell you this, PB. We are feeding over 300 homeless people on December 22nd. A local restaurant in Ballard caught wind of what we were doing and said, we're gonna cover all the food for you.
Awesome.
We're donating over 300 toys to Treehouse, an organization that works with foster care kids. And then we're donating clothing to Mary's Place for refugees. So God is moving, man. It's been awesome. I'll tell you what, though. Christmas Eve, candles, carols, communion. You know what I have to do? I ordered 300 of those battery-operated candles. I got to put batteries in them.
Why don't you do glow sticks?
Do you remember what happened when we did glow sticks here that one year?
Girls rebel about glow sticks.
You know how many emails we got? Remember that one time I said, that sucks, and someone wrote you an email on your sabbatical and said, I know you're on sabbatical, but I need to talk to you about this? We would get all those emails if we did glow sticks. People would be livid. They would, they can't.
I like the colorful array of glow sticks in the auditorium, but
Yeah.
I get voted down.
How's your prayer retreat?
Good.
Okay.
I took a pause for my boy's birthday today.
Yep.
I'm going back on my prayer retreat early tomorrow morning,
Okay.
finishing it up. Excited to meet with the staff, talk to the staff.
Yeah.
Officially finished my personal goals for the year.
Oh, you want any spoilers?
No.
Okay.
No. Honestly, I don't remember them off the top of my head. I did it yesterday.
His first goals. Watch
A little
The
bit jet
Chosen.
lagged currently right now. Yes.
Season 1.
At Central on Sunday,
Mhm.
we had our adult singing Christmas
Yeah.
choir, and both Di and I watched it. We're away on this retreat
Yeah.
and watched it remotely. They were amazing. My favorite thing
Awesome.
about it is I'm overwhelmed by the amount of talent, just people in the church.
Just regular
And
people.
looking in the choir, seeing the different people that were in the choir was really awesome. Proud of Sean. Oh my gosh, the choir director. Her name's escaping me. Heidi. Heidi is incredible directing choirs. Please forgive me, Heidi, for forgetting your name. But really was,
Yeah.
it really was
It
awesome.
was awesome. It was cool to see people in our church who aren't on just your typical Sunday morning team just singing.
And this is Kids Christmas.
Yeah. Kids Christmas.
So
This is the
no
best
Lenny.
week of the year, though.
I don't get Lenny this year.
I know, Lenny. Remember last year when she threw a fit on stage?
I love it.
Yeah, it was. No, this is the best. You know, kids, they're picking their noses, they're crying.
Oh, it's complete, utter chaos.
It's the best. It's. The
I was
best.
worried years ago when we first started doing the kids' Christmas thing. I was like, man, I don't know if we should do this on Sundays. My
Mhm.
kids were high school students at the time. And I had told my kids I was thinking about not doing it. And they're like, no, that's one of our favorite services, seeing the little kids sing. And when my cool high school kids wanted it, I thought, fine, we'll do it. So there
Man.
we are again.
I'm hyped. It's an exciting season right now at the church.
Tony, today, I thought it would be a good idea
I'm
in
ready.
honor of Christmas
Come on.
that you and I shared our hopeful Christmas pardons. Joe Biden,
Yep.
your president,
And yours.
he pardoned his son Hunter.
He did.
And that was fairly controversial with Republicans, Democrats, everyone.
Everyone's upset. Yeah.
But the president can pardon. In fact, they're talking about Joe Biden pardoning people for crimes they have not been accused of yet.
Mm-hmm.
And just
Yep.
permanently just waving a hand over them and acquitting them for anything that they could do.
And you know,
And I thought you and I should do some
so
acquittals.
every president on his or her his way out has pardoned people. So Obama, I think, had the most pardons. Trump was the second most. Clinton, Reagan, they've all pardoned people right at their end. But in honor of Joe pardoning his son who committed crimes, we want to pardon the men and women of our lives who have wronged us. But we've forgiven them. We have released them from the prison of offense, PB.
Yeah, so today, Tony and I want to share our pardons. Originally, I was thinking we'll do 10 each, but
I have plenty.
I have plenty to go beyond 10. So we'll just
I
go
got-
back and forth.
Let's just keep going. And they're no particular order. Some are funny. Some are just, it is what it is. I wrote them. Some of them I thought, this is comical goodness right here.
When people started hearing that we were going to do a pardon episode, the amount of suggestions I got.
Oh, yeah.
So some suggestions from the faithful 200 listeners are included in mine.
Why don't you kick us off?
The first person that I want to pardon is the preschool mom who keeps parking in my parking spot every time I drive into work.
Can I?
So for those of you that don't know, for the 20th birthday, first it started at the 10-year anniversary of the church.
Yep.
I always parked off site with the rest of the staff, but the 10-year, my gift from the church was a parking spot. But I refused to have a sign, so I just used it. But this year, for the 20-year, the staff got me a sign, but there was some typos on it, so I'm still waiting for said sign to come. But my parking spot, these couple preschool moms keep parking in my spot.
Can I impersonate you every time I see you come out of your car? You come out, you got your Ray-Bans on, your satchel, and you go, "Who parked in my spot?" And then you walk right into your office every time. And it's a minivan, it's a Toyota, it's clearly a mother or a preschooler.
Yep. That person is pardoned.
Okay, I'm going to pardon. I have a long list. Here we go. First person I want to pardon And because I wanted to pick on some people that maybe the 253 faithful listeners would know, I want to pardon David Diaz.
Okay.
David Diaz, you are pardoned for calling me at the most inconvenient moments of my life. I repeat the following: family dinners, my drive home from work, a funeral, the birth of my children, when I'm in a public library, and when I'm sleeping. David, you are pardoned.
This wasn't going to be my next one, but I also want to pardon David Diaz.
Okay, what for?
Last Christmas Eve service, David had this huge idea.
Yeah.
Let's have a stage in the middle of the auditorium.
Oh, yes.
I said,
Oh, yes.
I don't like this idea. I think it kind of highlights me and my family too much.
Yep.
Plus, I don't want to lose the seating. And I was against it.
Yeah.
And David and I argued back and forth. And David kept saying, no, all the cool hip churches are doing this.
They're not.
And I said, I don't feel good about it. And I said, everything's an experiment. We'll try it once.
Yeah.
So we had the stage in the
I
middle
remember.
of the auditorium.
Oh,
The subsequent backlash,
Didn't someone leave our church over it?
people left the church because they thought I wanted to be the highlight over Jesus. It wasn't
Happy
my
birthday,
idea.
Brandon.
I didn't want to do it. And people were letting me have it for an idea that David had.
Do you
So
pardon
I
David Diaz?
Pardon David Diaz
David Diaz
for having
is pardoned.
some of the worst ideas that anyone on our staff has ever had.
Do we have a pardon button? Judah, what's the button today for pardons? Actually, don't cha-ching because we have like 30 of these we're going to get through. That's going to be very obnoxious.
Okay, your next pardon.
Okay, my next pardon. This is a lighthearted one. You ready for this? This is actually not on my behalf. He wanted me to communicate this on the podcast. My dear friend, Anakin Skywalker, now known as Darth Vader. He pardons his son Luke for blowing up the Death Star. What'd you think? I wrote that one last time. Get it? Because Joe Biden pardoned
There's-
Hunter.
Listeners in the room are actually heckling. All
What'd you
right.
think?
Okay. On that same note,
Okay.
I want to pardon Shabuzi
He's on my...
for only having one song, a bar song,
Yes.
that 6 months after it debuts is still the only song that I hear everywhere I go.
From
I am
Shabuzi.
so tired of Shabuzi, a
Shabuzi.
bar song. I liked it the first 500 times I heard it, but
Mm.
now it's getting old.
Yep. No, that song's awful, which we're going to talk about with the women. I didn't know who Shabuzi was until Beals told me who Shabuzi was. Yeah, that's where my life is at right now.
So Shabuzi, your sins are forgiven.
You are pardoned. Okay, I want to pardon the reviewer who called me grumpy. That piece of work. If you are pardoned, and here's why. If you want grumpy, go to the Popeyes on Evergreen Way in Everett, Washington. You will experience grumpy. I am not a ray of sunshine. I am sunshine compared to the Popeyes in Everett. Or any Popeyes of that fact. But
Well, on this note, I actually have a couple Tony pardons.
what did I do to you?
I want to officially, formally pardon you
For what?
for being grumpy. So you're forgiven for being grumpy.
I'm washed.
But I also have an additional pardon that was brought up today at lunch as I was meeting with all of our behind the scenes media
Who
people.
was this?
And I said, are there pardons that you guys are suggesting? And like one of the little sweet person that I referred to earlier,
Kelsey.
she says, you should pardon Tony for cussing in staff meeting. You're
Should I tell them
forgiven.
what happened? It's Pastors Unfiltered. I don't have a potty mouth. Truly. I really don't. A couple words slip here and there. If I stub my toe, it happens.
You were talking about ministry and this profanity-laced tirade comes out of your
Well,
mouth.
it's a biblical word came out of my mouth. So we're collecting toys in Seattle. Our toy bin is filled. And someone asked me, Pastor Tony, are we done collecting toys? Look, the bin is filled. And I said, hell no, we're not done collecting toys.
Okay.
And I said that, and I made, you know what's the most awkward part? The most ashamed, childlike moment. After I said hell no, I stopped.
Looked
and I
at
looked
Guy
at
Beals.
Guy Beals. And I just put my head down.
Imagine what it's like to live with her.
I-
You live in a perpetual state of guilt.
And Di just sat there. just shaking her head, disappointed in me.
I
can't
don't
even talk
claim
to her.
him anymore. Well, because you've already said it 2 more times on this podcast, from this moment forward, you're
Okay.
pardoned.
Thank you. I'm pardoned. There it is. Okay, your turn. So I pardoned the reviewer who said I was grumpy.
But then I pardon you.
Oh, you pardon me. Okay, here we go. I want to pardon Faithful 200. You remember this story. Last year around this time, I was on the road 7 days a week, fundraising for Seattle. And there was one church I went and visited in a small town near the border of Washington and Oregon in a town called Kelso. And a gentleman approached me after I preached my guts out, gave it all I had. The anointing was overflowing. And said, Tony, I need to get your email. I said, sure. And later that evening, he sent me a 20-page PDF. And in the subject line, it said, Tony, the Arab from Seattle.
Tony, the Arab from Seattle.
I want to pardon that guy for trying to get me to buy into his end times Bitcoin crap he was starting. You're pardoned. I don't even know what his name was. He was wearing a trench coat, too. You can't trust anyone in a trench coat.
He didn't try to get you into Amway?
No, he did not ask me to buy water bottles.
Remember the button that we had, the Tony, the Arab from Seattle?
Yeah, we had it for one episode, and then I said, no more.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
That was when Angry Tony started, but he's been forgiven. Okay, here's my next
that guy's
pardon.
pardoned.
I would like to pardon AMC Theaters for the stupid Nicole Kidman promo that we've all been forced to watch for 3 years right before the movie we want to watch begins.
When I was a young girl in Australia, I used to go
They
to the
actually made an updated version of it.
with her. Still
know.
had to get the heck out. I said heck.
What I've been told is that apparently in California, only in California, this Nicole Kidman promo is all the rage. That when she comes out, the entire crowd in California theaters quotes word for word what she says. Once again proving,
Dude,
avoid California.
I can't stand Nicole Kidman. I just don't think she's a good actress.
AMC, you're pardoned.
You're pardoned.
Until you play that again.
Okay. For those of you who remember the Bartell Drugs in Seattle, which I live near, was robbed over the summer. There was an attempted robbery. And my beautiful wife was on a run in the afternoon, the day after the run. And my wife was running in her run attire, she's all sweaty and whatnot. And a gentleman from Cairo 7 asked to interview her, Cairo 7 News, and ask her thoughts on what just happened. And my wife said, I'm sweaty. I just ran. He said, don't worry about it. We'll make you look great. So she stopped her run, interviewed, and in the interview, they put her name on TV, Ariel Mattar, concerned resident in Seattle, and called her concerned when all she said in the interview was, I woke up, heard a bang, and fell back asleep. So Cairo 7, you are pardoned for calling my wife concerned. She could not care less. It's Seattle.
Tony he's feisty.
Cairo 7. Who listens to them?
I just finished teaching my class at Northwest University, Tuesday nights, 3-hour.
Great class.
Seminar class for seniors graduating into ministry, about ministry leadership.
Yep.
And I would write the curriculum, then I would give it to Tina, and she would create handouts for the students. My assistant, Tina. I'm officially pardoning Tina for all the typos in those handouts. The best part is the first time I saw a typo and it was just obvious, it was on the heading. And I was like, oh no, I got to make sure Tina fixes this. And so one of my students raises his hand and he goes, who's Tina? And I said, oh, that's my assistant. She's creating these handouts for you guys. Every single week in class, students would raise their hand and they would say, tell Tina I found a typo. Every day in class. So I pardon Tina for her typos.
Tina, you are pardoned. Tina Hale. I want to pardon every millennial and Gen Zer who is over the age of 25 and married. Every millennial and Gen Zer, specifically Rachel Winfield and David Diaz, every millennial and Gen Zer who has a dog and refers to their dog as their child, but doesn't have real children, you are pardoned. Your dog is not a child, and it's worse than a child, and it stinks, and it poops everywhere, and you take family photos, and you schedule photos. Stop. It's a dog.
The best
Thank
part
you.
about people and their obsession with their dogs, i.e. Tony and Ariel with that hideous dog Samson.
He was
you
a
used to have,
golden retriever, AKC certified. Thank you.
he was the worst behaved dog ever. Everybody like obsesses about their dogs, and then they have a kid, and then their dog is banished outside.
Have you seen Morgan's dog? You can't. He's down at the bar at Twisted Lime. He's been abandoned since they had kids. Yogi.
When Morgan and Nicole's dog that was like their child passed away, and then they replaced him with this super expensive Yogi.
Yes.
That they had to. Didn't they have to like travel all over the U.S.
Morgan
to
flew
find?
to Detroit in one day, back and forth. Flew to Detroit, got out of the airport, picked up the dog, flew home.
And then from the moment that dog's been there, they've hated that dog.
He's the worst dog ever.
And
As
he's
bad as
so
Conan
cute.
Ozzy. Yeah, he smells.
So the best part about Tony and Ariel's dog, Samson, is I was doing a growth group at Tony's house.
One time
And-
maybe has ever been to my house.
That dog was so terribly behaved that all the guys in our growth group refused to come unless we switched houses. So
That was
where is Samson now? Is he in dog heaven?
No. You know Chris Mine at our church?
Yeah.
She rehoused him for us when we moved.
I'd like to point out that Chris Mine often keeps dogs, and she didn't keep that one. I wonder
She
why.
doesn't need any pardons because she's an amazing human.
She is. Okay.
Okay, I want to pardon.
No, it's my turn.
Oh, sorry. Yes, your turn. Yeah, so pardon. Who just got pardoned? Oh, yeah. Rachel Winfield, you're pardoned. No one
Okay.
cares about your dog.
I want to pardon Sean King for inviting him on our prediction episode, telling him ahead of time what the categories were, but he still gave the worst predictions for 2024. You would almost think the guy had been living in a vault.
He
for
was right
several
about
years.
the governor. Give him credit.
He was right about the we knew that Jay Inslee was retiring. Like he in the hidden vault in his backyard, he probably heard a news flash that Jay Inslee was going to retire. But the fact that he picked Top Gun Maverick is so I officially, Sean, you're pardoned.
You're pardoned. You're pardoned. I want to pardon, you know who we haven't talked about in a while? We haven't talked about Lindsay and Leslie.
Okay.
Now, I don't see them as much anymore now that I live in Seattle. But I pardon the twins for claiming they have more influence than you and I because of their show. And not only that, they started a podcast following our podcast and took the word unfiltered and threw it on theirs. Twins Unfiltered. They're pardoned.
That is true.
Copyright, trademark, and because you still haven't had PB and I on your show as spiritual advisors. Should we build this house? Let's pray about it. Put me on the show.
I have a two-part pardon.
Okay.
So I'm including two people.
Okay.
I want to pardon George Lucas
Oh, no.
for the movie The Phantom Menace.
You didn't like it?
Try to watch that movie again. It is the most boring, stupid movie.
Jar Jar Binks.
It's terrible. The little kid that's playing Anakin Skywalker and he's in the little pod race.
Oh,
They're
he's
going,
feral.
"Whee!"
Yeah.
Oh, anyways,
That kid.
I also, in addition to that, want to pardon Hayden Christensen for ruining the greatest villain of all time, Darth Vader.
See, a lot of people love him. A lot of people love him.
Hayden Christensen?
A lot of people.
Does anyone like Hayden Christensen? Are you kidding?
lot
Look
of
it up.
people do.
He is despised. He's the worst actor. He has no career now.
Are you watching the new Star Wars show on Disney Plus right
No.
now? It's actually really cool. It's got that Stranger Things Goonies vibe. You should watch it.
It's not the woke one that
No,
they just
it's not.
did
It's
that,
not woke at all.
that everybody hated.
No. Mandalorian started getting a little too woke for me.
Okay.
Okay. All right. There's your Star Wars one, just like mine. I want to pardon. Are you guys still with me? Everyone listening? We still feeling good? Great. I want to pardon Kaylee Patrick. Harkness. Thank you.
I pardon Tony for saying Patrick.
Thank you. I've been pardoned 7 times already in the span of 20 minutes. I want to pardon Kaylee Harkness. Every time I use the restroom upstairs, it is a single stall. I'd like to have some space. Sue me.
Kaylee keeps walking in on you?
No. Kaylee waits for me to finish because you can kind of hear everything. Waits for me at the door. And the moment I open it, she scares me. And she's trying to get me to cuss or curse or say something out loud.
To go to staff meeting. Have
Just
you talk
go to
about
staff
ministry?
And every time I'm in the bathroom, I go, ah! And I have to go back in the bathroom. So Kaylee Harkness, you're pardoned for scaring the crud out of me. Quite literally. Thank you.
Kaylee does nothing wrong.
Oh, gosh.
I want to pardon the quack guy on Instagram that started posting on the church's Instagram and giving us bad reviews.
What? What are you talking about?
He is upset because the preacher didn't say hi to him on the Sunday that he went to, and that the preacher made fun of the city of Portland. So
Quack, where is this?
by now, I'm sure they blocked him. He had a total of 2 followers, so whatever. But he had a picture. His name is Quack, and it was a picture of the Oregon Ducks. I pardon you.
Well, I'm going to read it for you guys. Here we go.
Okay.
Quack 206. Tried this church last Sunday. The worship was amazing. This guy, his punctuation is all over the place. Saw the pastor in the lobby. He looks busy, spelled Bizzy, as he looked me right in the eye and walked right past me. Didn't feel very welcome, especially because I'd followed his preaching online for years. But shout out to everyone else who said hi. We'll try another church. And then he said, pray for us. There's more. You want me to keep reading?
Sure.
Oh, wow. He actually wrote paragraphs, quoted scripture, but here's the best part. And the you know what's the problem with Venture? We're too nice. We actually, when people talk smack, I don't talk back. Your jerk preacher and his wife saw I had none and didn't give me time of day. You've got more shirts, hats, keychains, and crap for sale than God in the bank? We're pardoning him.
Yes.
I'm not even going to keep reading.
Hey, once I saw that he was an Oregon Duck fan, and then at the very bottom, he says, he even made it clear he doesn't like Portland. I mean, if you have a problem with me making fun of Oregon, you're just going to hate Venture. I do want to point something out about this, Tony.
Can I clap back at him right now?
You know who was speaking this Sunday?
Who's speaking this Sunday?
No, who was speaking the Sunday that he came? It wasn't me.
Was it Morgan?
It was Christian. It was Christian speaking. So I pointed that out to my wife, but my wife was like, you're just trying to get out of this.
How upset are you going to be if I clap back at him right now?
No, we ignore him, but he's pardoned. He's
right.
forgiven forever.
All right. Quack. We love you, bro.
He's allowed to go to, what church should he start attending?
He should attend the Pursuit. Okay, so I want to pardon, here we go. I want to pardon every person I ever meet who, when they find out I'm Middle Eastern, this is instantly, it's like an instant reaction. They go, oh, we love hummus. Every single time.
What did happen the first time I met you? I
told you the story. You met me. I had to give you a ride to Safeco Field.
Okay.
You hopped in my Honda Civic with my subs. I actually turned them off.
Working a Mariners game or something?
We worked the Mariners game. We sold beer together.
Okay.
And I said, I think I like this guy. It was pretty cool.
All right.
I also had a stash of weed in that car I had to hide. Because I found out you were there.
I just want to point out that I did not mention hummus while we were in the car.
Thank you for not. Appreciate it. He doesn't see color, folks. All right, what's next?
I want to pardon Larry David and Jerry Seinfeld for the Seinfeld finale.
Oh.
It's kind of grown on me over the years, but it is almost universally panned.
Hey,
So
do you watch-
I pardon them.
Do you watch Curb?
I've never watched one episode
PB,
of Curb.
I'm not gonna lie, it is one of the funniest shows I've ever seen because it's all improv. Larry Day, it is genius.
I will watch it at some point when I have time when I'm 80.
Okay. All right. I want to pardon crazy church lady. Every church has this crazy church lady.
Who's the crazy church lady here?
I don't know, but every church has one. It's the gals who email us or call us and say they had a prophetic dream in the middle of the night and the Lord awoke them that they need to bring in their shofar and blast it during our services. You know those people? I pardon them for being delusional. We don't need your shofar. Thank you.
Hey, I am glad that they at least give us a heads up that they're coming with the shofar versus just start blowing it.
That did happen once at Everett.
That is true. Keeping in my silly ones.
Yeah.
And by the way, if you've yet to watch this TV show, I'm not endorsing it.
Okay.
If you've yet to watch it and you are planning on it, I'm not meaning to ruin. If you haven't watched it by now and you wanted to, I don't know what else to say, but I am pardoning Jon Snow for killing Daenerys Targaryen.
He had to.
But I'm pardoning him.
He had to.
But for years, she was like, for years watching the show, she was my favorite character on the show.
But she was becoming her father.
I know.
I haven't watched Game of Thrones, guys.
He killed her, and he got banished to the north.
I know.
So he is pardoned.
Jon Snow.
He can come home.
You know, people argue that he's a type of Christ. He laid down his life for others.
Did you know that that HBO was considering a Jon Snow knockoff, like a follow-up?
They should have.
But
they really should have. Anyways, I want to pardon. This is a good one. You know how every restaurant in suburban America, talking like you go to like Chicago, but you're not in Chicago. You're like 45 miles out from Chicago, Texas, right? And they always say they have the world famous fill in the blank. How can it be world famous if we're in Enumclaw?
It gets me to buy it every single time.
And how is your reaction every time when it's world famous? Cheesecake, milkshake, burger, fill in the blank. How does it feel?
The problem when you eat as fast as I do, you don't pause to think, did I enjoy that or not? So I never think about it afterwards. But it does cause me to buy it.
They have to stop saying world famous. Do people in remote villages of Mozambique know that your milkshake in PL, Washington is world famous?
Hey, Greenie, here's what we're going to do. Next big service promo, we're going to say, for Easter, instead of promoting the
World
service,
famous.
we're going to call it, come to the world famous Easter service. The world's most famous Easter service.
Actually, it is.
I would like to pardon Morgan Butcher.
Oh, what did he do now?
Who has blind allegiance to Jerry DePoto.
Not just Morgan.
All the things that I love about Morgan, I cannot stand his blind fandom with the Mariners and their GM, Jerry DePoto.
That's fair.
Who should be fired?
That's fair. I want to pardon the faithful 253. All of you are pardoned. A few weeks ago, we held a very important vote here on the pod concerning the button usage of the podcast. I said it was taken away from the conversation. You argued it enhances our conversation. So we allowed the listeners, the people, to vote on this. And unanimously, they voted to keep the buttons. So all 253 of you that like to listen to ka-chings, Raiders rolls, oh yeah, the Kool-Aid guy, I don't know what buttons we have, you're pardoned. Thanks for ruining the day. Actually, I just sounded really grumpy right there.
I know. I'd already pardoned your grumpiness, so I wasn't going to comment. Tony, I want to pardon myself. I pardon me.
For what?
Selling all my cryptocurrency a year ago. I know.
You
all
did?
Of it. And I also, in addition, I want to pardon my friend, Ty Hutton, who is a financial advisor, pretty much deals with rich people, not people like me. And I said, Ty, I'm thinking about selling all my crypto. Do you think it's a good idea or not? And he said, you probably should. As crypto now is at all-time highs across the board.
It's Bitcoin
I
is
pardon
pumping.
myself and forgive myself.
Oh man. Well, PB.
I have more.
Oh, I have a couple more. We're
Okay,
almost done
I have
here.
plenty more.
Oh, okay. I would like to pardon Bob Rickey. You know, I don't see Bob that often. But when I do, every time he needs to remind me that he's a better golfer than I am.
Oh,
Every time.
is he?
He's not.
Okay.
He's not.
All right.
He's
It's
not.
a hot take. Bob's going to be on our next episode.
So every time I say, hey, Bob, let's go golf today. Hey, let's go golf in 3 weeks. Hey, let's go golf in 3 years. Can't. I'm going to be milking something or farming something. Or where is he, Greenie? He goes to these conventions in Ohio to look at tractors. To each their own, man. Bob, you're pardoned. I know you're afraid to play me in golf. There it is.
Tony, I would like to pardon Audrey Dayton.
Oh, she's innocent.
Audrey Dayton is one of the current best employees we've ever had. She is a joy to work with. She's always in a good mood. She's sweet. She's loving. She's encouraging. I describe, when I was meeting with the media team for lunch, we were all describing everybody's responses to staff meeting. We were talking about Claire dozing off in staff meeting, Kelsey rocking back and forth, and then there's Audrey. Whenever anybody talks in staff meeting, Audrey is like fully attentive and is like, yeah, that's so exciting. But I want to pardon Audrey when she wasn't this Audrey. When she was in high school and was really snotty and mean.
Oh, really? She was?
Don't you remember that? I pardon Audrey from her high school years.
Yes, I remember that. A couple people on staff I'd like to pardon. Pastor Johnny White, I'd like to pardon you for having stepson energy. You treat me like you're my stepson, and I don't like it.
Okay. On the staff
You're not my
pardons,
dad.
I would like to pardon Kelsey Fairfield for
Oh.
making our lobby smell like a winery a few weeks ago.
It was good
Because
for
she
people.
brought in all those wine barrels for people to bring in and it was Thanksgiving basket stuff and made the whole place smell like we're a bar.
You're right. I'd like to pardon Cole Hasty from One Voice International Worship. Do the math.
He goes to the bathroom 20 for 20.
And it could be multiple times.
Okay.
And if you do the math, that's almost a week of vacation he's using in the restroom at work. He's pardoned.
Okay.
Stop eating Taco Bell.
I don't have a reason for this one, but
Okay.
I'm just going to tell you who I'm pardoning.
Okay.
And this is because no president has pardoned him yet. But I want to pardon the Tiger King.
I was going to say him. Darn it.
He's
Yep.
pardoned.
Yep. He is. That was really good. I want to pardon Kellen Fairfield.
Ooh.
Every time Kellen calls me, there's a voice of concern. Tony, is this a good time to call right now? It's 1 p.m. on a Wednesday. I'm fine. What's up, man? I'm just so sorry to bother you.
So he does the opposite of David Diaz.
Yeah, David goes, hey, I know it's 11:54 p.m. Hey, you busy right now? Yeah, I'm trying to sleep, bro. Kellen, you're pardoned. You're not bothering me. I love you, Kellen. You're the man. He's pardoned.
All right, my last several are unrelated to anyone that anybody knows here,
Okay.
but they're big issues in the world.
Okay.
I would like to pardon Howard Schultz,
Oh, no, he don't deserve it.
the owner of Starbucks,
Doesn't deserve it.
for selling the Sonics
Yeah.
to Clay Bennett, who
Yeah.
then moved them to Oklahoma City. We haven't forgiven you. We've hated you ever since. But as we're getting closer to the Sonics coming back, I am pardoning Howard Schultz. You are now forgiven.
I would like to pardon the Seattle Seahawks. There was a Super Bowl where we were at the 1 yard line
Oh, for not. Yes.
with Marshawn Lynch, one of the greatest running backs of our time. And we chose to throw the ball rather than hand the ball to Marshawn
Who, by the way, had been
Lynch
dominating the entire game.
all game, and then went to the Raiders.
Yep.
Seahawks, was it Bevel? Was that his last name? Yeah. He's pardoned too.
Did you know it was that single play for years? People would say, what's your favorite NFL team? And I would say, oh man, I love the Raiders and the Seahawks. 50-50. It was that play that made the Raiders blow past
Just broke my heart.
the Seahawks.
Broke my heart.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
This is a future pardon for all of their future sins too.
Okay.
But I would like to pardon Alaska Airlines for not upgrading me to first class.
Not for their planes breaking down mid-flight, doors flying off.
Well, I also would like to pardon Boeing for having doors fly off planes.
Yes. I would like to pardon TSA.
Oh,
TSA, you are pardoned for simply being TSA. I don't need you to yell at me to take everything out of my bag, dump out my liquids. A kind sign or a, hey, sir, would you mind dumping that water bottle? I don't need to walk in there 5 a.m., one eye open, empty your water bottle, your bag, take off your shoes. Dang it, get naked. I don't need to hear that. Have you been to the Oakland airport recently? There it is.
here's my TSA story. You fly out of Payne Field a lot?
I love it. I love it.
So Payne Field, before they had the machine that you walk into and it circles you.
Yep.
Before they had that and you had to walk through the regular x-ray machine. Well, I have a metal shoulder for my shoulder replacement and it always buzzes. So I would go to Payne Field, and Payne Field, for whatever reason, the TSA agents are over the top there and they would frisk me every single time I was there. It would be a 3 to 5 minute ordeal in front of everyone. They would rub me in the front, rub me in the back, basically. I mean, it would be easier to strip and have them.
What does Jerry Seinfeld say in the airport when he's getting frisked?
People,
Yeah.
I implore you. No, yes. I whenever I would be scheduled to fly out of Payne Field,
Yeah.
I would have a anxiety attack because I was like, they're going to frisk me. They're going to frisk me in front of all these people. And then the guy, like, he's a foot away from you looking right at you. Sir, do I have permission to touch you here and here and here? I'm like,
No, you don't.
bro, just get this over with as quick as you can. So I started complaining, and that is why they brought in the other machine. But then Di and I flew away for our prayer retreat, and they didn't have that. We had TSA pre-check for some reason, and they did all of those things, plus went through all of our bags, and I'm so embarrassed. My carry-on, guess what my carry-on was full of? Just take. If you
Cologne?
thought, what would brand it? No, remember, we're going to a place where I have all my stuff. Like I have clothes, everything I would need, but I had an entire bag full of something to entertain me at night. What do you think I had in there?
Oh, dude, Sour Patch Kids, candy.
I had a bunch of Legos.
Sir, remind us your age again.
So they pull this and then they open it up and they were all still in the boxes sealed. And he had to unbox each one and dump out the Legos.
No.
And it was 3 different Lego sets and now they're all merged together. So I don't pardon TSA. But anyways, here's my last pardon.
Okay.
This has been fun.
This has been awesome.
This is going to have to be unless the faithful 200 hated it.
253.
I guess that is
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
I would like to pardon the tree that fell during the bomb cyclone a few weeks ago that landed in front of the Northwest University chapel, not on top of the chapel.
Man,
Backstory,
Yep.
Northwest has been in the middle of this remodeling the chapel project for the last 3 years.
Yep.
And this is the longest remodel project. Think of like when your dad's working on a car, puts it up on blocks, and it
Just sitting
stays in the
there.
garage for 3 years. That is the Northwest University chapel. It is currently covered by an orange tarp. Had this tree fallen on it, they would have received the insurance money they needed to finish the chapel. But instead, the tree landed in front of the chapel, only causing it so students couldn't go to class. So I want to pardon the tree for not letting Northwest University finish their chapel.
I would have just grabbed a ton of college kids and said, let's grab this tree, throw it on there right now. We're going to get that money.
Northwest doesn't have the type of college kids. It would take like 3 times the entire student body to lift the tree.
I was going to say, these are all kids who like did Royal Rangers. We can use a levy. I'll show you how to tie a rope. Okay. Man, I have a few, but you know what?
Let's do them. Go for it.
We do need to land a plane.
Do one last one.
Okay. I want to pardon Washingtonian drivers
Oh,
for 2 things.
I have one last pardon.
Number
too.
1, why do Washingtonians forget how to drive in the rain? They like don't know how to drive. It's like on a snow day when it snows here. People go 5 miles per hour in their Honda Civics on the highway. Just relax. And number 2, you know when you're the flow of traffic, you're moving and someone's trying to get in the lane, they're waiting to get in. Washingtonians stop traffic to allow someone in. That is illegal. Don't do that. Let them wait and keep going. You're slowing all of us down. I got to go. I got kids in the back. We're hungry. Stop letting people in.
My last pardon, and this is the conclusion of our pardon episode. I would like to pardon Karen.
Karen? Who's Karen? Like a Karen?
All the Karens in the world.
Quack Quack 206?
I want to pardon Karen.
Why?
There is a new movie out called A Karen's Christmas.
Oh.
And it ends up devolving into a really stupid, A Christmas Carol, Scrooged movie. So it went crazy. But the first half hour was the most accurate, very exaggerated version of what people think when they think Karen. And I think it's time to redeem the name Karen. So I want to pardon Karen.
Amen. I believe it.
No longer will Karen mean.
We love Karens. We have a handful of Karens at the church.
They're great. I feel bad that their name is Karen.
Every Karen I've actually ever met is incredible.
Where did it all of a sudden become that Karen meant evil, privileged white woman?
I don't know. It's the haircut that always gets me, though. The highlights of the hair cut off halfway. Just kidding.
It's the sending back your complicated coffee order at Starbucks and refusing to tip that always amuses me.
Well, hey, I could do this for the next 5 hours, but we do need to wrap it up. This was fun, PB. We should make this a yearly tradition. We're going to pardon people every year.
Yep.
Right at the end of
or
Christmas.
at least every 4 years for
if
presidents.
this podcast is still going in 4 years,
it
the
better
Lord-
be
the
the
Lord will have
faithful
moved.
273
at
by
that
4
point,
years.
At that point, yeah.
What are we doing next week?
Hey, next week is fun, folks. It's actually probably one of the funniest episodes to date. We have the female staff doing their 2025 predictions. We have Heather Taylor, who was former staff. We have Beals, and we have Claire Racer, who Claire can now take on the title of the new Kaylee. She didn't have a single answer for anything we asked, which you're about to find out. Or she'll go, I haven't thought of that. Beals was obviously, she was great. Heather Taylor was a little too sassy for me.
Hey, I wasn't involved in the episode, but I observed it.
Yeah.
And there were multiple laugh out loud moments.
There really were.
Heather Taylor
Yeah.
is a very witty human being.
She is hilarious. So that was pretty good. The following week, we have the men of Venture. We have Bob Rickey, David Liam, and you. And we're going to be doing the 2025 predictions from the male perspective. I'm
I have
excited.
told Bob and Dave,
Yep.
go unhinged.
I don't know about that. I cussed in staff meeting. I don't know what's going to happen on the podcast.
Well, I don't want them to swear.
No, they're not going to swear. And then we land the plane, Christmas break, and then we're right back in the new year. And a lot's going to happen in the next year. I think this is the year.
But don't tell me what the year is yet until
that's right,
we do the prediction episode.
Okay, there it is. Well, folks, I hope you enjoyed today. We were just trying to have fun. Last week was a very heavy theological conversation. So we love the Lord. We also just love to have some fun too.
Hey, I want to just say this. If you're out there, you're listening, and there's somebody that maybe you're harboring some unforgiveness towards, someone that you're frustrated with, why don't you pardon them?
That's a good word. And with that, we pardon all of you. Thank you for being with us this last year. We appreciate it. Don't forget, give us 5 stars on Spotify and on Apple Music. We appreciate you guys deeply. If you have a negative review, send it. Morgan.b@ourventure.church. He loves reading those emails. We love you guys so much. Don't forget.
Let's make Jesus famous.
Happy birthday, Judah.
Raiders Roll.
It's beginning to look a lot